Aloha, and welcome to the Secret Art of Huna podcast, where I'll be sharing how to use Huna, the carefully guarded spiritual, energetic, and healing practices of the ancient Hawaiians, to help you transform those bits of your life that aren't working, to help you find your purpose, or maybe just to help you dump emotional baggage. I'm Dr. Jane Lewis, and 20 years ago I was burnt out, depressed, unfulfilled, disappointed, directionless, and deeply, deeply miserable. Huna enabled me to change all that, and so I now share it with whoever wants to experience a more joyful, fulfilling life. Well, aloha, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's discussion, which is all going to be about forgiveness. I decided that January 19 would be good to make it a month that I would be talking a lot about forgiveness. It's a time of year when people have perhaps not had the best times with their families. They kind of often in a space where they feel they need to forgive. So I thought it would be a good topic for today. And what I'm going to talk about is a couple of things. One is why you should forgive. I'll talk a little bit about what is forgiveness. I'll talk about how you can forgive, and a couple of ideas for you in terms of getting more support if you need support around forgiveness. So why forgive? Well, the kind of basic obvious reason for forgiving and letting go of it is to preserve your health. There's a lot of psychological research that shows that forgiveness acts very much like stress in the body, and I'm talking negative stress here. And because it acts like negative stress, it can contribute to mental and physical dis-ease in the body, in the mind. So that's the first reason. But there are other reasons too. And for me, they're just as important. I think one reason is there's two kinds of forgiving. There's forgiving yourself and there's forgiving others. And certainly when you don't forgive others, they kind of have a hold on you. It's like somebody put chains around your ankles and they hold you back. So when you forgive somebody else, then you become more liberated. It releases those chains around your ankles. Forgiving yourself, for a lot of us, shame is a big story. We can't forgive ourselves for things we've done or for things we haven't done. We didn't we haven't achieved our potential. We offended somebody. We upset somebody. We said the wrong thing at the wrong time. Can't forgive ourselves for those things. We did something remarkably stupid. We did something that's remarkably, that we're just ashamed of. And yet the funny thing about being ashamed about stuff is so often when you share the thing that you are most ashamed of with your friends, you go, oh, I did that. So very often we hold on to this shame ridiculously. So forgiving yourself is also incredibly liberating. And it takes you out of those feelings of shame. There's a lot of work out there about shame. I think there's a lot of less work about self-forgiveness. But the key to releasing ourselves from shame is forgiving ourselves, and then we can let go. Another reason why I think forgiveness is really, really important is I do a lot of work with clients who are what I would call light workers. So they're working at a much more psychic, a much higher level of vibration than I am. But for a number of them, one of the things that really holds them back is that they can't forgive either themselves, they've got some shame around something, or someone else. Several clients who, as I say, I would describe as light workers, when they've worked with me, we've worked through forgiveness, or we've worked through anger at another person. When we release that, when they've released that, they find that their work goes to a whole new level. They find that they feel lighter. People who come to my Huna workshops, one of the classic comments is, I feel lighter. Now, in the Huna workshops, we're not just doing forgiveness. We're not just working on forgiveness. We're working on tools for releasing other emotions. But I know that the forgiveness piece is such a big piece for people in feeling lighter. You feel taller. You stand up straighter. So forgiveness is incredibly valuable and important. And then there's all the moral stuff and the religious stuff. And you know, we've known about forgiveness for centuries. Just about all the major religions talk about the importance of forgiveness in one way or another, and they have different spins on it. But it's been known. The psychologists know that forgiveness is important. The religious folk knows that forgiveness is important. We as individuals know that forgiveness is important. It's important. So what about forgiveness? One of the things that I find with forgiveness is that there's a lot out there, a lot of material out there on forgiving others, plenty of processes, plenty of how-to books. The thing there's less of is forgiving the self, forgiving yourself. And the real truth is that most of us don't intentionally harm other people. Most of us, most of the time, we're wandering around in our own little bubble, and we do things and we say things and they hurt other people, but it wasn't our intention. And very often we don't even realize that they've hurt another person. It's almost like it's the throwaway line in the drama of life for us, but for the person at the receiving end, this suddenly becomes something really important and triggering. So very often we're not even conscious that we've hurt other people. And that applies to you too. Other people throw out their little lines of life that hurt you, and they had no intention, they had no realization, they didn't even, it wasn't in their consciousness. So when you start to forgive other people for the perceived hurts that they've done you, it also opens up the possibility of forgiving yourself for stuff that you've done. So forgiving other people, very, very important. It's also true that when you forgive yourself and when you forgive other people, you move through life, your energy changes. For me, forgiveness was a massive piece in getting rid of depression, because for all my life, I'd spent my time blaming other people for my own misery. I was the one who chose to be miserable. Most of the time, they had no awareness. So this awareness question is so critical in the whole forgiveness story. Then, how do you forgive? It's difficult for a lot of us. I grew up in the Christian faith. I don't regard myself as Christian anymore, but I went to church a lot when I was a kid. My dad was an organist and I was in the choir. And I knew about forgiveness, but it was all turn the other cheek. Nobody taught me how to forgive. And that really is what I'm about, which is helping people learn how to forgive. Now, one way is Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian forgiveness process. Ho'oponopono is a fabulous process, and there are many versions of it. Ho'oponopono works when you're forgiving other people. It's not as easy when you're forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself, you've got to turn inward, and that really is where the release of suppressed old negative baggage, suppressed anger that you've never been able to express, sadness, grief that you've held in. Somebody important in your life died and you've never really been able to resolve that, but you've never felt able to talk about it or go to a bereavement counselor or express it. Sadness, fear, the fears that we hold, very often they're silly fears, and we know they're silly fears, but they're suppressed and we hold them down. Guilt, suppressed guilt. When we release those things, then this starts to help us forgive ourselves. So if you want to forgive others, Ho'oponopono, brilliant. If you want to forgive yourself, then releasing the emotions within yourself, the suppressed, the old, the emotions that you've pushed down, releasing the beliefs you have about yourself, that's the way to forgive yourself. So over January, I'm going to be talking a lot more about forgiveness. I'm going to talk about the whys, and I have a forgiveness challenge running, which is still open and you can still join. And I hope that this is going to be useful for you. The world needs forgiveness right now. It really does. You look around and there's so much going on that you think, oh, if they'd only just talk to one another, forgive one another. So the more we are walking role model examples of forgiveness, then the more that ripples out into the world, and that ripple effect can create more forgiveness in the world, because that's what the world needs right now. So if you want more help, I have a philosophy. I have some very high-end clients, but I also want to work with people who don't have huge amounts of money. So what I've done is I've set up something called the Pioneers Club. And the Pioneers Club is for women. It's a monthly subscription. And in there, I share videos, ideas, and it's my way of being able to support people who can't necessarily afford my higher end rates. So take a look at that. If you go to, if you go to https://secretartofhuna.com/pioneers club. I think you'll find it there. Or if you just go into the Secret Art of Huna, you can find it in there. So that's one of the ways that I can help you. Another way I can help you is, I've talked about this January challenge. The January challenge is starting on Monday. It's open to everybody. So if you go to secretartofhuna.com, this is on the web, by the way. So secretartofhuna.com/challenge, then you can sign up and join. It's a 10-day challenge. So I've got 10 15-minute activities, different one each day. Some of them are meditations, some of them are physical activities, some of them are written activities. So different things that you can do each day to really loosen up your forgiveness muscle and start you having the forgiveness that you want and creating the lightness of being that comes with having that forgiveness and being able to do forgiveness in that way. As I say, the short exercises, 15 minutes a day, because I know we're all busy people, and it's free. All you have to do is sign up, secretartofhuna.com/challenge. And I look forward to seeing you either in there or on another Facebook Live next week. Same time, same back channel. Take care.
I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. If you want to bring about rapid transformation in your life, check out secretartofhuna.com, where you can also download a free meditation to help you with self-forgiveness. You can also look out for Secret Art of Huna on social media such as Facebook and LinkedIn. Look forward to talking to you again very soon.